is high school football. Hello everyone and welcome to the Suncom Media NBA Sports Game of the Week. Tonight is a heavyweight battle that will provide a stronghold on a conference championship. Tradition-rich Wynne will travel to Central Dealership Stadium in Jonesboro to take on an undefeated Valley View squad. Both teams are currently 2-0 in the 5A East. It's the Yellow Jackets of Wynne High School. It's the Blazers of Valley View High. It's the Suncom Media NBA Sports Magazine High School Football Game of the Week.
Jackets come to town to take on the Valley View Blazers. Guys, on paper at least, this is a mid-season matchup for first place. And a lot on the line, and we'll have ramifications not just after tonight, but going on later in the season. Steve, I'm going to go to you first. You sat down and talked to Coach Cockrell. He knows the importance of this game, but in your opinion, your thoughts?
Well, it's not my opinion. There's 3 undefeated teams in the 5A East right now. These are 2 of them, so there'll be 2 at the most. With the winner of this game, and Nelson has a chance, but this is definitely for a stronghold in the early conference race.
Randy, come to you for just a second. 2 very opposite teams, at least on the offensive side of the football. What does Valley View and Wynne have to do to win the football game tonight?
Well, it starts with taking care of the football. And when you look at the difference of offensive styles, it really goes back to, is the quarterback going to take care of the ball and not turn it over? Both have done it for the most part this year. And are you going to get some explosive plays when you have the opportunity and capitalize in the red zone?
Well, we are very much looking forward to this game tonight. Again, it is the Wynne Yellow Jackets taking on the Valley View Blazers. Up next is the Coach's Show. As I mentioned, Steve sat down with Sean Cockrell. They dissect the upcoming football game on both sides of the football. Again, you're watching the Suncom Media and NEA Sports Network.
For over 20 years, Central Dealerships has partnered with Suncom Media and NEA Sports to bring you live coverage of sporting events in Northeast Arkansas.
From heated rivalry games to conference showdowns along with playoff championship action, Central Dealerships continues to showcase the best games that NEA has to offer. Remember, when shopping local, Central Dealerships have played a huge role highlighting local players. Just like Suncom Media and NEA Sports, Central Dealerships puts NEA student athletes first.
Locally owned and operated since 1885, Barton's is your hometown building supply store, serving communities in Arkansas and Missouri. Barton's is here to help families and DIYers, contractors, and builders build it better with quality in-stock products at a great price. Our experienced store representatives provide free project measurements, design services, estimates, and convenient delivery. Visit your hometown Barton's or shop online at bartons-lumber.com.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Coaches Show. I'm here with one of my favorites. I'm a huge fan, Sean Cockrell, the head coach here at Valley View. Coach, you're off to a great start, obviously, knock on wood, don't want to jinx you. A lot of it hinges behind center. You had a pretty good quarterback this year. Talk to us about Gardman.
Yeah, Drew's done an awesome job. He's, kind of exceeded expectations up until this point. We knew he was a good player, and he was an all-state receiver last year, and we knew he could play the positions, but he's made really, really good decisions, and he's made us go from being 5-0. He's a big reason why.
Tremendous week last week. He was Democrat Gazette Player of the Week. More of a threat at quarterback than a receiver, in my opinion. He can run the football.
Yeah, and that's what when I say decision making, I mean a lot of those runs that he makes are on passes, and he sees that nobody's open in a hurry, and he can make that decision in a heartbeat, and then he's down the field and really fast and can make people miss.
But he can fling it as well, and he's got a slew of receivers. Talk to us about the targets out wide.
Yeah, I think it starts with Andrew Jones and Laird Cullen. The two guys on the outside have had really good seasons. Both seniors, really good season so far. In the slot, Trip Dale's another senior. He's more of a runner. We get the quick ball to him. And then Parker King is a junior, is another guy that can really fly, and we want to get the ball more to. Noah Ragsdale is a guy that comes in and plays a lot for us as well. So we got really 5 or 6 guys there that can really go and give us some weapons on the outside.
And you try to give them the ball in open space because they're pretty good athletes.
They are. We try to do a lot of screens, a lot of short passing, but they can also stretch the field. And then, you add Anthony Feliz at running back, that we've gotten back now and is ready to go. A guy that can break one at any time. So we've got a lot of speed and a lot of athletes in the back end.
Now, Felix was injured in the preseason scrimmage, I believe, but he's 100%.
Yeah, he's 100% ready to go. He had a broken collarbone, but he's back and he's ready. And we're going to try to get him the ball and try to establish the run a little bit better.
Now, Coach, you know me, it was inevitable. It all starts up front. Talk to us, just go from left tackle to right tackle. Talking about your offensive line.
Yeah, left tackle's Daniel Cole, the biggest guy we got. Everybody will see who he is.
What is his dimensions?
Yeah, he's 6'6", 320.
Yeah,
so
he's a big kid.
He's a big kid. And then left guard's Talon Caldwell, another senior. Daniel's a senior. Judd Miles is a junior, started last year for us.
Now, Judd's strong.
Strong. He's probably the strongest on the offensive line. Right guard is Hudson Rogers, another senior who started for us last year. And then Houston Walker's the right tackle, another junior. So experienced offensive line. 4 of those guys started last year. Talon was the one that came in this year to start. So those guys are doing a great job, really good in the pass set. We've got to get a little better at run blocking, but it's kind of, what defense is trying to take away the run from us.
Now, I'm real big on your offensive coordinator, too. Tell us about the value of having Marty Riley call plays.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. I mean, he's a genius when it comes to play calling, and he does it off, the top of his head, something I could never do. But he's so prepared, and our staff does a great job. But we're really valuable to have him, and he could do this forever and ever, and be a guy that anybody would love to have as offensive coordinator.
Now you got a great staff, but it all starts up top. Head coach Sean Cockrell. We'll be right back to talk about the Blazer defense right after these words.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us be a part of your family and for trusting us with the ones you love the most. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of those lifelong memories. Thank you for taking us on the job and for putting us to work. Thank you for choosing us for your first vehicle and for every vehicle after. Thank you for trusting us for 70 years.
At Roof Raiders, we never start with pushing a contract in your face, because our first job isn't selling anything, it's protecting you in a time of need. Like supplying tarps or stopping leaks, our first duty at Roof Raiders is to help. Every mission for us starts with response and ends with unconditional satisfaction. Count on it and count on us. Roof Raiders, always on top.
Whatever might happen next, if Gavin gets a sudden fever, if Dad hurts his knee, or Gabby isn't quite feeling like herself, St. Bernard's Urgent Care is here for them, and here for you too. From real-time online wait times and extended hours to expanded services, we will never stop advancing urgent care that really cares. St. Bernard's Urgent Care.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show. Once again, I'm joined by Sean Cockrell, the head Blazer. Coach, before the break, we ran through your offense. Now let's talk about defense. First up front, talk about your defensive line.
Yeah, defensive line's been doing a great job this year. I think it starts with Noah Wendell and Nick Gamble are our two ends. Eli Thornton is a sophomore that has been starting here and rotates with Everett Thomas as a senior, and those are our two big guys. Holden Murphy's another guy that plays. He's a junior. Peyton Thomason's another guy that plays. He's a senior. He's 6'7", 245, gives some people some problems. But we rotate about 6 guys there, and we feel really good about that.
In 4 spots. You play a 4 front, yeah. And then linebacker, talk to us about your linebacker.
Yeah, you know, I think it starts with Jade Taylor. He was an All-State player last year. You know, he's our guy. 2 juniors have kind of come in the middle with Ryder Wooten and Rylan McNamee, guys that have played really well, especially Wooten's played really well. He had 9 tackles last week. And then at outside linebacker, we also have Zion Simpson is another senior. So those guys have really played well, and they're going to have to this week again.
In the back end, talk to us about
yeah, and I think that's been the biggest surprise for us is how well we've played on the back end, and that, you know, that's a tribute to our coaching staff and those guys. But we start 2 sophomores in Carter Wallace at safety and R.J. Estridge at corner, and then Rylan Ramsey was an all-conference corner last year, and then Ricky Moffitt is a senior, the lone senior starting back there, and they've done a great job. We'll also rotate Kobe Wester and Daniel Richardson, a senior in Daniel and then sophomore in Kobe. But those guys will play as well.
I'm assuming against Wynne, you'll play a lot of 8-man front. What can we expect out of Wynne offensively?
Yeah, they're going to come right at us. They're going to play a tight end, a wing. You know, basically it's a wing tee or split back at most of the time. And so you're going to see us. We're going to pull a DB off. We're going to add another defensive lineman. Only go with 3 DBs, and they don't throw it a lot, but they're going to come right at you. It's going to be a very physical game, and we're going to have to be physical as well.
You put a lot on the shoulders of your defensive coordinator. Talk to us about Gunnar Wilburn.
Yeah, you know, Gunnar's been a DC for a long time and done a great job for us. You know, he jokes that, you know, we basically started the playoff run when he got here, and we've continued to do that. And, you know, so he's done a great job for us, and the defensive staff continues to. I think we've only been scored on with our starting defense twice this year. So really good job by those guys.
Pretty good coach with your secondary as well.
Yeah, you know, we got Jay Bishop and Corey Corinne. Those guys do the secondary. They split it, you know, and then Coach Murray, you know, played in the NFL as our defensive line coach. So we've got guys that can coach all over. It's probably the best staff I've ever had, and we continue to see why is the product we put on the field.
Probably one of the best staffs in Northeast Arkansas anyway. Talk to us about special teams. What can we expect as far as specialists? Yeah,
you know, with saying that, a lot of those guys, those DBs, are good returners. You know, and along with Parker King's a good returner, Andrew Jones, R.J. Estridge is our punt returner. Those guys have so much speed they can get by anytime. We've had some really good returns this year. And then Brody Dix is our kicker. Has done a really good job, put a lot in the end zone on the kickoffs and kicked a couple field goals this year, and I think he's missed 1 extra point all year. And then Ryan Mitchell's our punter, and he's averaging about 40 yards a punt and does a really good job for us.
Now this is a big game for the conference, not for the conference championship, but a stronghold on an early conference lead. Any tricks up your sleeve?
No, I think we just, you know, we got to continue to take it one game at a time and see what our kids do and put them in the right positions. And if we do that, I think it'll take care of itself.
Coach, I wish you the best of luck. I always appreciate your time. Sean Cockrell, the head coach here at Valley View. Stay right there. We'll be right back with a little more pregame and then the first half kickoff.
Deeply rooted in Arkansas soil, Farmers and Merchants Bank focuses on local, community-based banking, working as a team to help you reach your goals and make our communities stronger. That's what happens at Farmers and Merchants Bank, home of Me Banking, member FDIC.
At Gateway Tire, we go the distance.
Think you have a brake problem? Do you hear a grinding or squeaking noise? Or does your steering wheel shake and shimmy when you apply the brakes? Worse, your vehicle doesn't stop when you need it to? If so, Gateway Tire will do a complete brake inspection at no charge, as in free. And if you do need brake service, you'll get $20 off per axle.
At Gateway Tire, we go the distance for you.
Southern Home Healthcare is your on-call home health care provider. Practically any home medical supply or service you need, you will find at Southern Home Healthcare. They feature home oxygen, walkers, wheelchairs, CPAP machines, braces, and more. And if you can't come to them, they'll come to you. On call 24 hours a day, 932-0990, 2925 South Caraway Road. Southern Home Healthcare, solutions for your home healthcare needs.
For over 20 years, Central Dealerships has partnered with Suncom Media and NEA Sports to bring you live coverage of sporting events in Northeast Arkansas.
From heated rivalry games to conference showdowns along with playoff championship action, Central Dealerships continues to showcase the best games that NEA has to offer. Remember, when shopping local, Central Dealerships have played a huge role highlighting local players. Just like Suncom Media and NEA Sports, Central Dealerships puts NEA student athletes first.
Locally owned and operated since 1885, Barton's is your hometown building supply store, serving communities in Arkansas and Missouri. Barton's is here to help families and DIYers, contractors, and builders build it better with quality in-stock products at a great price. Our experienced store representatives provide free project measurements, design services, estimates, and convenient delivery. Visit your hometown Barton's or shop online at bartons-lumber.com.
We are live here at Central Dealership Stadium, where tonight the Valley View Blazers host the Wynne Yellow Jackets. I'm Ryan Fletcher. Along next to me is Coach Randy Coleman, and on the field is Steve Clayton. As we inch closer to kickoff, we're about 1 minute and 5 seconds away. Randy, this game, I mean, bottom line, right now as it stands, it's for first place as Harding Academy has a loss on their schedule. And this is a big matchup in week, I believe, 6 for these two teams.
Yeah, as a coach, you look at it from each time you win, the pressure mounts a little bit more because each time you win, you're sitting there in the driver's seat. And you know, both these teams are undefeated in conference, so this is going to put you in that next spot to control your own destiny, and that's what you want at this time of the year.
Valley View coming off a huge win, and what I would even call a dominating win over Harding Academy. Wynne, undefeated in the conference. They're 4-1 on the season. They got past Greene County Tech 21-14 last week. You know, Blazers fans might have concern that Valley View might come out flat. Wynne, you would think, has to be up for this game. Brody Dix, by the way, will do the kickoffs as he is getting ready and geared up for that. And here we go. It will be caught at around the 15-yard line. Here comes the return, and he will be dropped at the 25-yard line. But speaking to those potential intangibles, Randy, you know, the concern by fans, maybe not by these players or Coach Cockrell, that Valley View might come out flat after that huge win over Harding Academy.
Yeah, I never bought into all that as a coach. You know, you look at what's in front of you. I really don't think Coach Cockrell and his staff, and especially the players, are going to overlook Wynne. Wynne still has the reputation of being a dominant program in this part of the state.
No doubt about that. And they are going to run the football as they are set up in that bunched formation. And look at this. I say they're going to run the football. First play, offensive play of the game is a pass, and it is dropped. Intended receiver was Cooper Thompson.
And it's just a great play call, and, you know, you can't miss that opportunity. Now you're you know, kind of behind the chains. You got 2nd and long. Now you probably go back to a run here, and, you're looking at a situation where it's going to put you in 3rd and long most likely.
Siler Holbrook is the quarterback for this team. And again, under center. They go. Little pitch play. Trying to get to the edge. He will past the 30 and is dropped at the 35-yard line. It looks to be maybe a yard shy of the first down.
That's a nice read by the quarterback there in the pitch and got the edge. You know, you got to keep contained on the edge and not let them get their speed out there on the get to the sideline. Now you got a big third down.
You know, you go back to that first play, that pass play, drop pass, wide open. There was only one man he had to beat if he caught that football.
That's right.
All right, third down and a very short yard. Hand off, and it's going to depend on the spot.
Looking like the spot is going to give him a first down.
And it does. That was close, but close enough.
Yeah, now you're probably going to get some more of that traditional wing tee that Clay Toddy runs. You know, get a first down, keep that clock moving. You know Wynne's going to want to keep the ball away from Drew Gartman, that offense, as much as possible.
Oh, no doubt about that. I think that's key in this football game, as dominant as Valley View has been on the offensive side of things. And they're not fooling anybody right there. The handoff ended up going in the hands of Braylon McDowell, and that's actually hit for a loss.
And that's a great job. You know, I mean, you're looking at, you know, Ryler Rutledge. I know he's had a great year this year. That's just a great job by him. Setting the edge, you know, not doing too much, making a big play down at second and long.
Randy, and talk to us a little bit about this style of offense for Wynne.
Well, you know, it's predicated on ball control. You wanna possess the ball, control the clock, and you know, when you get a chance like that play right there, if you can get the edge, because everybody's going to be sucked in trying to stop that, you know, the dive and the midline and the veer. You know, you've got a chance to get a big play.
That was a run by Cameron Smith. Entered this football game tonight, 37 carries, 268 yards. They've got other guys that have ran for 345 yards from Braden Smith and 486 yards from Christian Wren. So they've got several guys, and, of course, the quarterback can run a little bit too.
Yeah, there's not really one guy that you've got a key on. They do a good job of spreading it out.
Got an actual receiver out on the far side of the field. That goes on a pitch play, cut back towards the middle, and Valley View shuts that down, and he might have got back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be fourth down.
And that plays right into the strength of Valley View's defense. If they can keep them between the tackles, you know, and you're going to hear me, you know, sing the praises of Jay Taylor and those guys all night long. But if you can keep them between the tackles, you're running right at Valley View's strength.
9 minutes, 53 seconds to play here in the first quarter. We do not have a clock cam for you tonight, so I will do my very best to remind everyone what we have on the game clock. And punt formation. And that is a low liner of a kick. They're going to let it land. They're going to field it. And a cutback, one missed tackle, two missed tackles, three, but enough to slow him down and get some other guys down there for help.
Well, you know, that's a great job just making sure you don't let that ball roll, get down inside the 20, because that really changes the mindset of the play caller. Now let's see what Coach Riley will dial up. Looking forward to watching this offense.
Oh, me too. R.J. Estridge is the punt returner. He just couldn't quite get anything going there. And you mentioned it, Randy. This is a high-powered offense. Drew Gartman has had a phenomenal season, and he's went from being an all-state wide receiver, and he's well on his way to an all-state quarterback season. And he's going to run the football. He's hit hard, and he's got a game.
And that play right there is what you saw a lot last week against Harding Academy, where Drew Gartman's just getting the edge. Wynne did a good job there of kind of keeping him contained. You know, I look forward to seeing what Coach Riley does formationally to take advantage of this Wynne defense.
9 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. No score. Handoff into the hands of the running back, and be positive yardage, maybe a yard on the play, and that's Feliz on the carry.
You know, one thing I see just right off the jump here defensively for Wynne, they're going with a 3 safety look, just trying probably not to give up the big explosive play.
It's 3rd down and 5. You got Twins to the right side. Throw going over to the sidelines. It is, no, they call it a catch. He must have got a foot down before he was shoved out of bounds. And that's Andrew Jones.
Well, that's just a good job of, knowing the down and distance, getting past the sticks where you can come back to the football and move the chains.
Andrew Jones has had a very, very good season at wide receiver. Go with a quick pass over to the short side of the field, and down the sidelines he goes. If he can tiptoe his way, but he stepped out of bounds. Andrew Jones.
Well, I think that's what is real impressive about Andrew Jones and a lot of these players on the Valley View offense is that you look at him and you're like, I don't see just the greatest athlete just looking at him, and then he wows you with his athleticism. That is a great play by Andrew Jones.
Sure was, and there's so much speed in these receivers.
Yeah, I've heard Coach Cockrell talk about this is the fastest team he's ever coached,
Yeah.
and he's got it at all 4 wide receiver positions. And Feliz is a track star, so it's a very, very speedy football team, and it's going to be fun to watch this.
Officials having a conversation. It looked like, of course, Wynne was showing blitz, and they were wanting the false start call against Blazer number 58. And they are going to call that actually against the defense. Can you explain that?
I don't know how honest I'm going to be.
I've not seen that really before.
That just seems like it's a little bit of trying to make a bold call by the white hat there. Don't know exactly what they were. Looked like a pretty cut and dry false start there by the offense
as well. I mean, as the defense's attempt to maybe draw them into that penalty, but no matter what, it's 1st down and 5 with 8:10 to go here in the first quarter. Back out of the gun, trips to the far side of the field. Gartman having to scramble, and he is rolled forward maybe a few inches at 2nd down, so really no gain.
Yeah, and you know what's fun about that from an offensive standpoint, Coach Riley with a 1st and 5 can really attempt a shot there, which he did. They got a little pressure on Drew. He tried to get out of the pressure, but from a coaching standpoint, you look at it and you just got you a 5-yard run. In the grand scheme of things, now you're 2nd and 5, and still the playbook's wide open.
All right, we've got an injured player on the field. We'll take a commercial break, and we'll be back here in just a moment.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us be a part of your family and for trusting us with the ones you love the most. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of those lifelong memories. Thank you for taking us on the job and for putting us to work. Thank you for choosing us for your first vehicle and for every vehicle after. Thank you for trusting us for 70 years.
At Roof Raiders, we never start with pushing a contract in your face. Because our first job isn't selling anything. It's protecting you in a time of need. Like supplying tarps or stopping leaks. Our first duty at Roof Raiders is to help. Every mission for us starts with response and ends with unconditional satisfaction. Count on it and count on us. Roof Raiders, always on top.
We have returned to Central Dealership Stadium, and it is 2nd down and 5, 7:57. Gartman up the middle. Gartman with a huge run. Gartman is headed to the end zone. Touchdown, Valley View. A 37-yard touchdown run for Drew Gartman.
Well, what is awesome about that, and that's purely by design of Coach Riley, that's just a good old-fashioned power read. But when he got that quad stack look over on the right side and Feliz goes in motion, that window dressing just confused the defense just enough. And if you give Gartman a seam, he's going to take advantage of it.
No doubt about that. A 37-yard touchdown run. Of course, Andrew Jones had a nice really, he did most of the work on the quick throw, and his speed added yards on the drive. Extra point by Dix is good. It's 7-0 Blazers, 7:49 to play in the first quarter. You're watching the Suncom Media NEA Sports Network.
Deeply rooted in Arkansas soil, Farmers and Merchants Bank focuses on local, community-based banking, working as a team to help you reach your goals and make our communities stronger. That's what happens at Farmers and Merchants Bank, home of Me Banking, member FDIC.
At Gateway Tire, we go the distance.
Think you have a brake problem? Do you hear a grinding or squeaking noise? Or does your steering wheel shake and shimmy when you apply the brakes? Worse, your vehicle doesn't stop when you need it to? If so, Gateway Tire will do a complete brake inspection at no charge, as in free. And if you do need brake service, you'll get $20 off per axle.
At Gateway Tire, we go the distance for you.
Back here at Central Dealership Stadium, and a nice little offensive drive on their first offensive possession for the Blazers, led by Andrew Jones and finished off by Drew Gartman on that 37-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, you got your studs showing up tonight, and so that, that possibility of being flat, I don't think it's going to happen tonight.
Well, that's a great way to start, that's for sure. That bobbled as it was caught at about the 2-yard line, and oh man, he was stuck pretty hard right there at the 15. I'm impressed he made it to the 15 after the bobble.
No doubt, and that's our guy, Ryder Rutledge again. He's such a good player. It's fun seeing, the linebacker core that's kind of led by Jay Taylor, and seeing these other guys kind of step up.
You talked about Jade Taylor. He's the leader on the defensive side of the ball. Watching him grow and develop, and just how much he obviously has worked out in the weight room. He's a big dude these days.
Well, I think Brian Huff is one heck of a player. Obviously, going to the University of Missouri, but watching Valley View the last couple of years, Jay Taylor's the best defensive player on that team, in my opinion.
I don't disagree with you at all on that.
He is one phenomenal player, just got a knack for the ball, and then he's very physical. And for a big guy, he is very, very athletic.
Pretty good baseball player, too, Coach.
I bet he's good at darts.
All right, Wynne goes with a handoff. Huge hole opens up, and that's a nice gain there for the Yellow Jackets on second down.
Yeah, Nick Gamble's there on the stop. It's a good play by him, but to me, I think that's a big indicator of how this night might go. You've got a big hole on Valley View's last offensive series, and Drew Gartman takes advantage of it and makes a big play for a touchdown. Big gaping hole right there, and they get an 8-yard gain. So you see the speed difference, and Valley View definitely has the advantage there.
So it is third down and about 3. Handoff goes to the far side of the field, no gain, and it's fourth down, and the Yellow Jackets are 3 and out.
We got a late flag. I don't know what the late flag might be. That is the same, little blast play that they ran on third down the last possession. Okay, we got a personal foul on Valley View, so that's going to keep the drive going for Wynne.
Well, it's not 3 and out any longer. Is that a signal, a face mask?
That he just said personal foul.
Okay.
So I will not venture to guess what he saw.
That was.
But it gives Wynne a new set of downs, moves them closer to midfield, and when you got an offense like Wynne has, when you get close to midfield, you become a 4-down offense, and that really gives them an advantage.
All right, so 1st and 10, ball at the 37-yard line of the Yellow Jackets. Holbrook, and he had a man open, but he had to rush that one as he was met with some pressure.
Well, that's one thing in teaching quarterbacks where you've got two defenders coming at you and you got a man wide open where it seems like you need to rush that throw. Go ahead, take your time, make a good throw. You may take a hit, but you get the completion and a big gain. He just rushed that throw a little bit.
6 minutes, 9 seconds here in the opening quarter. Second and long. Pitch coming to the near side of the field. And here's the thing, Coach. You know, for the most part, the Blazers are prepping for Wynne to run the football. Clearly, that's what they do the majority of the time. And so far, the Yellow Jackets haven't had much to show.
Yeah, when you have as deliberate of an offense as Wynne, and you don't hit those chances you get in those two pass plays that they've thrown incomplete, now you fall right into the hands of that Valley View speed, and they're going to run to the football like they did that last play. Now you're forced to throw.
Out of the same formation on 3rd and 11. And maybe a yard.
Yeah, I just don't, even with misdirection, I don't see, Wynne being able to take advantage of Valley View in that area tonight. Not with Valley View's speed in the defensive side of the football.
Coach, there's been some really good Blazer teams on this football field over the course of the last, several years under Sean Cockrell. There's been some really good teams in the past with either you or Shannon Sherman. But from a pure looking at dominance standpoint, at least through the first 5 games of the football season, it would be hard to argue based on that. And look on a fake, and I'm telling you, man, that was going to be a first down, and now they're going to turn the ball over, and Valley View has tremendous field position.
Well, if you look at, the first 2 possessions of Wynne tonight, they've had 3 opportunities with a pass to make a really big play, and they have not connected on them. And, you cannot do that against a good football team and win a football game.
Well, and again, that's number 15, Cooper Thompson. The second time he's been wide open and dropped a pass. That would have been a huge gain. And now they go quick to Jones over to the sidelines. He's slung out of bounds. The point I was making, as I thought we were just going to have your normal punt or whatever, this is a very, very dominant football team, and you could argue they're going to go down as one of the best that we've seen in Valley View Blazer football history.
Yeah, I agree. And you look at just the quality across the board. There's really no weak spots. Now, what's going to happen is you wonder how depth will affect, if there's injury, that sort of thing moving forward. But just quality, this is a very, very good football team.
That's far side of the field. And a couple missed tackles, finally drugged down. The catch was made by Trip Dale. Another one of those good wide receivers.
Yeah, and that's just a great read by Drew Gartman. That's a little RPO with the counter inside and the bubble screen on the outside. Great throw and catch. Make them defend full 53 1/3 yards of the horizontal width of the field. And now you got a good 3rd and short. And here's that quads formation again.
He ran the football, I believe, the last time this happened, in a huge shift. Gartman keeps Gartman again with a nice run. First down.
Well, this is Coach Marty Riley dialing it up. They get the shift, and now they got a heavy set, an unbalanced set. They fake a little reverse, and they run the play that he probably really wanted to run in the first place with a quarterback sweep to the strength of the formation, but just dress it up a little bit with a fake reverse.
Okay. Trips to the right. Lone receiver to the left. They go to the lone receiver. Pass was low and incomplete. As a matter of fact, it looked like Anthony Smith might have got a hand on that.
Yeah, that they're giving them a cushion out there on the edge. Coach Riley looks like he wants to take advantage of it, throwing some hitch routes. Anthony Smith did a good job of getting his hands up. Now we got 2nd and long.
Gartman rolls to his right. He looks to keep. Cut back towards the middle, still on his feet. And a gain to cut that down to about 3rd and 5.
You know, the joke among coaches is the first RPO ever invented was a sprint out pass. And you kind of saw that right there. They did a good job of guarding Andrew Jones. They were looking on the one-on-one matchup out on the edge to the single. And you know, Gartman didn't like it. He keeps it for a good 4-yard gain.
You know, if you're Wynne, first off, Gartman to prep and plan for, and then to execute defensively has got to be tough. But if you're thinking on the defensive side, what is something you've got to do to at least contain him? And they throw. There's some miscommunication there.
Yeah, a little miscommunication there. It looked like Drew was looking for a hitch out on the side. Laird Cullen was thinking something else. Now they're 4th and about 7. You know, the deal is, I almost think that the type of athlete that Drew Gartman is, you almost need to put some sort of spy on him.
Yeah.
And that may be what they're doing with Noah Stewart on the defensive side of the ball, where he'll drop back some and almost play a third safety. But that opens up a lot of passing lanes when you do that.
So they're going for it, or at least showing that they are here with 2:24 to play. 4th down and 6 out of the gun, and it looks like the Blazers are going to take a timeout. We will too, and we'll be back here in a moment on the Suncom Media NEA Sports Network. Something happened then, because it cut off at number 44, and we are back here at Central Dealership Stadium.
And you know what? That's a really good call by Coach Cockrell. They come out almost like a basketball coach would set up an inbound play and see what the defense is going to give them. Don't like the look. Now come out here and attempt a field goal.
Brody Dix will attempt this field goal. It is up, and it is through the uprights. Brody Dix with a nice field goal to put points on the board. It's 10-0. 2:19 to play in the first quarter. We'll be back here in just a moment.
Southern Home Healthcare is your on-call home health care provider. Practically any home medical supply or service you need, you will find at Southern Home Healthcare. They feature home oxygen, walkers, wheelchairs, CPAP machines, braces, and more. And if you can't come to them, they'll come to you. On call 24 hours a day, 932-0990, 2925 South Caraway Road. Southern Home Healthcare, solutions for your home healthcare needs.
We're back here live at Central Dealership Stadium. Home of the Blazers, who lead this one 10-0. A battle here in the 5A East for first place. Blazers and Yellow Jackets undefeated in conference play. Yet Valley View undefeated on the season. Wynne, with their only loss, came in week 0, I believe, to the Marion Patriots in a very close football game. Brody Dix set to kick off, and that one's booted, and it's going to sail into the end zone. Touchback.
Very nice. And, you know, right now we've got a difference in Valley View capitalizing on, you know, the big play and the mistakes by Wynne, and Wynne not capitalizing on plays that they had to make. And right now that's the difference in the game.
2:19 to play, and I'm going to compliment Brody Dix not just for the field goal that he made. I can think back to a couple years ago. He's done kickoffs for a while, and he's obviously worked very hard on his craft, and that was, you know, you take the return away when you kick it in the end zone, Coach.
Yep, You definitely do, and you make a high school team go 80 yards, especially one where you have the speed advantage, and it makes it difficult. But they come out with a nice gain on first down and give themselves a second and short, and that's where this offense needs to operate in order to have success tonight. They've got to put themselves in second down position where they can, where they can get a little creative or just mash on them.
So it is 2nd and 4, minute 42 on the clock. Pitch play. He gets to the edge. He's got a chance for some big yards here, and he'll be shoved out of bounds at the 36-yard line, and that was really close to a flag.
And that one's going to come back for holding right there on the edge.
My point was going to be close to a flag. It was almost a late hit out of bounds. Ended up being a flag, but against the Yellow Jackets.
And here's, if you're looking at it from Wynne's point of view, you got a triple team on the defensive end right there, and the Valley View player is doing a great job. It's Jay Taylor fighting through a triple team and gets held. Where he's not going to show up in the stats for a tackle, but he just got him a 10-yard loss because of his effort.
Yeah, no doubt. Another handoff. No, that had me fooled, Coach. So a gain there for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, that's a kind of a wing T staple play, which Coach Toddy runs. He kind of spreads it out a little bit more than the wing T traditionally would be, as far as having a double slot look. But that's kind of like an old inside trap play. Now, what Jay Taylor did right there is he attacked the puller, and the puller, what they call, logged the block, so he got on his outside, and it gave the running back a chance to get the edge.
3rd down and 4. That is what Wynne wants, a manageable 3rd down play. They go handoff up the middle. He's drugged forward. That looks like a 1st down.
And right now, every 3rd and short play that Wynne has had tonight, they've run the same play. So look for Coach Toddy to be kind of putting that in the back of his head and maybe trying to come up with something play action off that later.
So 1st and 10, 44 seconds on the clock. And now we've got a stoppage in play. Player for Valley View coming off the field. That's Ryder Wooten. Hope he's all right.
Looks like maybe a little stinger, what they used to call, where you get like a little sensation down from the neck area down one arm.
Another run up the middle, a gain of about 4 to 5, and it's 2nd down. So Wynne looking good here early in this drive, and Coach, got to give him credit. Had the holding call, was 1st and long, and got the 1st down, and now they're moving again.
Yeah, and again, this is the 2nd time in this possession where they've got themselves in a 2nd and manageable down where they can take advantage of it.
All right, well, time is winding down here the 1st quarter, and it is up. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back here in a moment on the Suncom Media.
For over 20 years, Central Dealerships has partnered with Suncom Media and NEA Sports to bring you live coverage of sporting events in Northeast Arkansas.
From heated rivalry games to conference showdowns along with playoff championship action, Central Dealerships continues to showcase the best games that NEA has to offer. Remember, when shopping local, Central Dealerships have played a huge role highlighting local players. Just like Suncom Media and NEA Sports, Central Dealerships puts NEA student athletes first.
View has done. They've taken care of business, scored 2 times, so it's all Blazers right now.
Thank you, Steve. And we are back here. Wynne was able to run a play, and it is going to make it first down as they swap sides of the field.
And, that's the little blast play that they've run 3 times on 3rd down. They dressed it up a little bit with motion, moved a backer out just a little bit with the motion, and gave them a running lane.
Pitch play. Nowhere to go.
Well, that's the 3rd or 4th time they've attempted that little rocket toss. Maybe Coach Toddy's setting up something for later, but I don't see the way Valley View's defense is made up with the strength being a good linebacking core. I just don't see how that play is going to be good.
It was Noah Stewart, I believe, that was the guy that got the call. Number 4.
Now, I would look for a quarterback run here soon.
Well, he's rolling out. He throws a pass, and it's high again. That's the 2nd time tonight we've seen a play like that. He had time to throw, but he is 0 for 4.
Yeah, Cameron Smith is, not the biggest guy out there running the flats. It's a great play design. Right now, it just looks like, Siler Holbrook is just a little bit out of sorts. Everything's kind of sailing high, and a lot of times that's tied to his feet.
Well, Coach, let me ask you this, too. When you rarely throw the football,
yep,
it's, and I would think, hard to get in any kind of rhythm.
Without a doubt. And all of the plays that they're doing so far in the run game have been, or in the passing game, have been a misdirection or a boot rollout. It's not easy to get your feet set. And, the misdirection, the plays outside that they've attempted the last 2 plays, I just don't think that's going to work against Valley View. And what looked like, a good drive to start has turned into a 4th and long, and now they're going to have to punt.
Well, and Eli Thornton was there on that tackle for a huge loss. It is now 4th and 18 with 10:08 to go here in the 2nd quarter. They are looking to punt, and Jay Taylor got close to blocking that. It's bobbled and saved last second. That could have been very, very costly for the Blazers, but luckily R.J. Estridge recovers, and the Blazers are going to get the football with pretty good field position at their own 38.
Yeah, one thing that I admire about R.J. Estridge is he's attempting to field every punt, which is going to save you all kinds of yards because those low punts can roll, and I'm sure that's what Wynne's looking for. Luckily, the little bobble, he got back on it.
One into the sidelines, and that's a gain there for Gartman.
Yeah, gain of 6. Again, when you've got an athletic quarterback like Drew Gartman is, a lot of times you're making one read, see if, the initial man is open, and if it's not, let's just tuck it and go. I'm trusting my legs enough and my athleticism. I know I can make a play if, the initial read is not there.
Time looks handoff to the running back. He will get over towards the sidelines, and it's Feliz that has.
I think it's going to be enough for a first down.
Well, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
Where he is at on our sideline, I think that's a first down. All right, Coach Riley's going back to his quad set. Let's see what Wynne, the adjustments they make on this.
He runs the football. Now the way they set up in that is not what reminds me of the Wild Hog that Arkansas used to run, but the fake there to the guy in motion, and then the option for the quarterback to pass or run the football.
Yeah, no, it's definitely Wildcat oriented, and when you got an athletic quarterback, it's a good way to go.
There's a quick pass over the far side of the field, and still on his feet, fighting for yardage, close to the first down.
Well, Parker King, Parker King, again, it's an RPO. You got inside run. You got bubble on the outside. They've got so much cushion out there that, Gartman's take advantage. He's done it multiple times tonight, taking advantage of the cushion the DBs are giving the receivers.
1st and 10, 8:35 to play here in the second quarter. Blazers driving. Out of the gun, Gartman, another quick pass to the sidelines. Down the sidelines and tripped up out of bounds. Pass was complete to Andrew Jones.
And it's just again, Coach Riley's putting on a clinic tonight because he's got inside zone. He's looking at numbers, looking at cushion. If he doesn't like it, you can always get it out there to, athletes like Parker King, like Andrew Jones on that one, and it's as good as a run.
2nd and 4. Twins to each side of the field. Gartman will keep. Gartman is close. So the thing about him, Randy, is he's so long and lengthy.
Yep.
He falls forward. I mean, there's you 2 yards at least.
Yeah, and, kind of going with your Razorback talk that you gave with the Wild Hog. Kind of reminds you a little bit of Matt Jones.
It does. It sure
just
does.
Has long, the long strides. Doesn't look like he's going very fast, but he covers so much ground.
He sure can in a hurry. Quick pass over, and he is hit, and nowhere really to go on that play.
At some point, we're going to see, Wynne is given 8 yards at least cushion across the board, and Valley View. Again, Coach Riley has trained, Drew very well that if you got cushion, take it. That 3-yard hitch could, like earlier, turn into a 40-yard gain, or it could be just consider it like a run.
Yeah. Nice little chunks at a time. Zano has it, and he is pulled forward. Feliz.
Yeah, and it looks like that's just a little inside dart play where you got one person, in this case the H-back, wrapping it up in the hole. Just great play design by Coach Riley. Gives themselves a third and manageable. Really, you could take a shot right here because you're going to go for it on 4th down anyway.
High snap. Gartman secures it and somehow manages a little bit of a gain out of that.
Yeah, it looks like by the spot it may be just a little bit short. You hate it from the Valley View perspective that you had a chance to really take advantage of a chance for you to get a big play in 3rd and short, knowing you're going to go for it on 4th. But now you bring in the big boys and get you a short yardage play to try to convert. Wynne really needs to stop right here to try to keep themselves in the game.
6 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the second quarter. 10-0. Blazers continuing to drive, but on 4th and 1. And he got that one for sure.
Yeah, and that's just we're going to get all of our big guys, and we're going to overload one side with an unbalanced heavy package, and we're going to let our best athlete run right at them. And, again, kind of what we were saying earlier, he covers so much ground so fast, he's going to convert that 9 times out of 10. Looks like they're staying with the same formation, too.
5 minutes, 42 seconds on the clock. It's been a quick half so far. Go with a handoff. He gets to the outside edge, get it to the end zone for a touchdown. Carter Wallace, a sophomore.
Yeah, well, that's one of those, Coach Riley, again, I'm singing his praises, but, you overload with a heavy package to your left and then run counter back to the weak side with the shift that the defense put on, and it's like taking candy from a baby.
Carter Wallace, a name that I think Blazer fans and Northeast Arkansas fans are going to become accustomed to a very young, talented player, multi-sport athlete, and has a very nice touchdown run. Extra point by Dix up through the uprights. It is 17-0 Blazers on the Suncom Media NEA Sports Network.
Locally owned and operated since 1885, Barton's is your hometown building supply store, serving communities in Arkansas and Missouri. Barton's is here to help families and DIYers, contractors, and builders build it better with quality in-stock products at a great price. Our experienced store representatives provide free project measurements, design services, estimates, and convenient delivery. Visit your hometown Barton's or shop online at bartons-lumber.com.
And we are back here at Central Dealership Stadium.
Yeah, right now with a 17-0 advantage by Valley View, it's put Wynne in a situation that their offense does not want to be in, because that offense is not designed to be a come-from-behind offense. So it'll be interesting to see what Coach Toddy does with the 5:29 to go in the half to try to get some points before they go to the break.
And another good job there by Brody Dix. 5:29 to play, and the Yellow Jackets need very desperately to move the football down the field and put some points on the board. You know, Randy, we talk a lot about how great this offense is, and when you look at scores and you see points each week put up in the 30s and 40s by Valley View, sometimes, because people like offense, but sometimes that has the defensive side overlooked, and you really can't, because as good as this offense is, it could be easily argued that the defense is even better. I think they've allowed 2 offensive scores in terms of that first string. And there is the biggest, maybe one of the biggest plays of the night, as Holbrook keeps, and he gets a gain of about 15 plus.
Yeah, and kind of going back on your point there, the thing that's real impressive with me is, Coach Wilbanks is really a 4-down, he's an even front guy. Last week against Harding Academy, who's going to throw it around all over the place, he went with an odd front and brought a lot of pressure. Well, this week he takes the DB out, puts an extra lineman in, and so it's just great coaching by Coach Wilbanks and that staff of preparing for really opposite opponents and getting a game plan together that's very, very good.
4 minutes and 52 seconds. Plenty of time for the Yellow Jackets to score, even in which the way they.
Little surprised tonight, just from the couple games I've watched of Wynne, that they have attempted a little more misdirection instead of the quarterback run. We saw the quarterback run for a big gain a minute ago, and they just haven't gone to that any.
So gain of a couple there. It's going to make it 3rd down and close to 7 yards.
Yeah, and again, this is one of those scenarios where you're probably going to have to do some sort of boot pass, which Siler Holbrook has missed on the 4 times earlier. But we've seen his athleticism. He can get out on the edge and make some plays. So we'll see what Coach Toddy does right here.
So 3rd and 6. He'll go with a pitch. Nowhere to go. I mean, absolutely nowhere to go.
Yeah, right now that Valley View defense is just stifling, and that's just a little quick toss to the nub side. I just they're running away from Jade Taylor there, but Noah Wendell is right there to make a big stop, and now Here Wynne comes. They've got a punt one more time, and you've still given, with 3:15 to go in the first half, you've given Valley View another chance to score.
No doubt about that. Punt high in the air. It's going to He dropped, and they will down it inside the 30, close to the 30-yard line. And the Blazers have 70 yards to go, 2 timeouts, and 2 minutes 55 seconds to do it. Plenty of time to add points.
You know, one thing we haven't seen Laird Cullen yet. I wouldn't be surprised if they go something here. Now they've got Andrew Jones in the slot. We'll see if, just by design and by formation, Coach Riley's trying to get Andrew something against a linebacker or a safety.
Gartman all by his lonesome back there. Quick pass out to Jones. Jones turns it upfield down the sidelines, and he'll take it out of bounds. As he steps out, they're going to mark it at the 38.
He's such a good open field runner, and one thing that receivers don't really like doing, but Valley View has done a good job tonight with all the short passes, is they are blocking really, really well for one another.
That's a very good point, and there was an excellent block on that last play. Yet again, Gartman by himself goes with another quick pass. And that's a gain of about 8, and there he is, Laird Cullen.
Yeah, Laird Cullen, you see him over there. He's a big body. You know that you're going to move Andrew Jones around a little bit. Laird was definitely, kind of biding his time till he got an opportunity, and he made a good play right there.
Gartman again to Cullen. Cullen, first down and then some, and 2 targets in a row for him.
Yeah, that looked like just the good old-fashioned all slants, and great job when you got that cushion to go with the outside guy that's running a little bit more of an end than a traditional slant. Laird Cullen takes it, gets a good gain.
2 minutes and 5 seconds. Gartman rolling out now. Gartman, that pass was low and incomplete.
Yeah, Wynne did a good job of, playing some coverage in the secondary and forcing Drew to use his legs. I really love, as much as Drew runs, when he's out there on the edge, he's still looking downfield to see if a receiver breaks open where he can make the throw, because he's a great baseball player. He's used to making throws on the run.
This time a gain on the carry of maybe 3. Now down to 1:49 to go. 3rd and 7.
Yeah, speed option right there by Coach Riley and the Valley View offense, running to the boundary. It's a good play call. Wynne did a good job of defending it.
Trips to the right. Laird Cullen over here by himself on the near side of the field. Quick pass. Complete, and it's going to be a first down, Randy.
Yep, I mean, that's another, you got cushion on the outside, and the receivers are doing a great job blocking for one another. It's almost, if you're a Wynne fan, you're probably thinking, well, what are we going to change? And Coach Riley's sitting there thinking, if you're not going to change, I'm just going to,
keep doing what we're doing.
Peck you to death.
Yeah, no doubt about that. 4 receiver set. Quick pass again over to the sidelines. That one, and he is walking his way down like a tightrope over there, Randy. And it was just a battle between him and the sideline won. But now they're down into the 5, most assuredly in the red zone.
Definitely, now you're in the, kind of the low red zone area. You're first and goal from about the 7. I would look for Valley View to try to maybe run it just to keep that clock moving.
And it goes to Feliz. He's just short of the touchdown, and they will continue the clock. Still plenty of time. Valley View has timeouts if they need them.
And they're not going to be in a hurry to use those timeouts. They're going to let that clock run. Probably not a bad thing that he got tackled on the 1. Look for him to punch it in right here, and if not,
a flag. See the call.
guy got a little tight, got in the neutral zone a little bit, so you get an extra foot.
Yep.
That he will.
And to the end zone, it is a touchdown, and that is Anthony Feliz.
And he punches it in right there, and now you got 43 seconds left in the half. You're creeping up there to where, you get a stop early in the second half, and you can start getting close to that mercy clock.
Halftime guest with Steve Clayton is, I believe, and the trailer can correct me if I'm wrong, but it should be Athletic Director Brian Jenkins. And then we will come back a little bit early like we always do. I'm going to have Slade Caldwell on for just a second. He's here tonight. We'll look forward to that. We'll take a break. We'll be back here in a moment. 43 seconds to go. It's 24-0 Valley View. We'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us be a part of your family and for trusting us with the ones you love the most. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of those lifelong memories. Thank you for taking us on the job and for putting us to work. Thank you for choosing us for your first vehicle and for every vehicle after. Thank you for trusting us for 70 years.
At Roof Raiders, we never start with pushing a contract in your face. Because our first job isn't selling anything. It's protecting you in a time of need. Like supplying tarps or stopping leaks. Our first duty at Roof Raiders is to help. Every mission for us starts with response and ends with unconditional satisfaction. Count on it and count on us. Roof Raiders, always on top.
There's a kickoff, and it is a touchback. So, 43 seconds to go in the half, and the Blazers leading at 24-0. You know what's interesting? Just kind of looking at the entire half as a kind of a big picture view. The talk before the game was, will Valley View, after the big win last week at Harding Academy, come out flat? Really kind of appears that Wynne has come out flat tonight. I mean, they're dropping balls, not capitalizing on opportunities, giving up the big play. Just kind of different for a Wynne team.
Well, and you make a good point, Randy, and I think just to the very first play of the game, what kind of tone that could have set. It was a drop pass. He had literally one man he had to beat. Not saying that man wouldn't have tackled him. And then you look back to the play where they went for it on 4th and 7. That resulted in 3 more points for Valley View. But if you look at that, that would have been a huge play. That would have given. It was only 7-0, I believe, at the time. They may go down and score.
Yeah, and if anything, it keeps Valley View's offense off the field a little bit longer. But and kind of what I'm thinking is, high school kids and football in general, a lot of times are built on momentum and energy. And right now, there's if you look over in the Wynne stands, they're all sitting. Nobody's really excited about anything. You get those 2 big plays early in the first quarter, and things change. That energy level goes up, and we may have a different ball game. We at least have a closer ball game.
Oh, this will be a timeout's going to be taken by Wynne with 7 seconds left. Interesting decision there. But we'll go ahead and take a commercial break as well. For the final 7 seconds of the half, you're watching the Suncom Media NEA Sports Network.
Whatever might happen next. If Gavin gets a sudden fever, if Dad hurts his knee, or Gabby isn't quite feeling like herself, St. Bernard's Urgent Care is here for them. And here for you too. From real-time online wait times and extended hours to expanded services, we will never stop advancing urgent care that really cares. St. Bernard's Urgent Care.
Deeply rooted in Arkansas soil, Farmers and Merchants Bank focuses on local, community-based banking, working as a team to help you reach your goals and make our communities stronger. That's what happens at Farmers and Merchants Bank, home of Me Banking, member FDIC.
Back here for the final 7 seconds. Send a man in motion, pitch, cut, and dropped. Maybe a yard. It doesn't matter. Time has expired. Here in the first half, it is Valley View 24 and Wynne nothing. And we are getting ready to have head coach Sean Cockrell, but he's going to take just a moment. He is not happy at somebody out there on the field. And, yeah, he's very aggravated at somebody. What you got to love about that, though, Randy, is you're up 24-0. He's not going to stop coaching. Something happened there.
That's going to give him a lot of fire at halftime to make him come out
now
and play.
Now he's got to come over here and do an interview and try to calm down. He was headed over. And we'll send it down to Steve Clayton.
A lot of football to play. Wynne's giving you some opportunities with the poor passing game. To kind of summarize the first half.
Yeah, no, defense is playing really well, and we're getting the ball back, and we're able to do some things. Drew's making good decisions. We're blocking really well on the perimeter with the receivers, blocking for each other. So it's really good. What we're doing right now, we'll get the running game going, I think, but if they'll keep giving us the pass, we'll keep throwing it.
Coach Holly's play calling. You said in pregame, you're very dependent on that, and he's been on target.
Yeah, no, he's just going to take what they give us. And right now they're trying to send 5, 7 guys up there in the front, so we're going to just keep throwing it on the outside.
No doubt, Coach, go coach him up. Let's go Sean Cockrell, the head coach here at Valley View. I don't know if we're going back to the booth or to commercial, but it's 24-0 right now, all Valley View in the first half of football.
A reminder that we will have our halftime show. Guest is Athletic Director Brian Jenkins, and then when we come back with a little bit of time left before the half, I will have Slade Caldwell up here, the current first-round draft pick by the Arizona Diamondbacks and former Valley View Blazer. Again, it is Valley View 24, Wynne nothing on the Suncom Media NEA Sports Network.
For over 20 years, Central Dealerships has partnered with Suncom Media and NEA Sports to bring you live coverage of sporting events in Northeast Arkansas.
From heated rivalry games to conference showdowns along with playoff championship action, Central Dealerships continues to showcase the best games that NEA has to offer. Remember, when shopping local, Central Dealerships have played a huge role highlighting local players. Just like Suncom Media and NEA Sports, Central Dealerships puts NEA student athletes first.
Locally owned and operated since 1885, Barton's is your hometown building supply store, serving communities in Arkansas and Missouri. Barton's is here to help families and DIYers, contractors, and builders build it better with quality in-stock products at a great price. Our experienced store representatives provide free project measurements, design services, estimates, and convenient delivery. Visit your hometown Barton's or shop online at bartons-lumber.com.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us be a part of your family and for trusting us with the ones you love the most. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of those lifelong memories. Thank you for taking us on the job and for putting us to work. Thank you for choosing us for your first vehicle and for every vehicle after. Thank you for trusting us for 70 years.
At Roof Raiders, we never start with pushing a contract in your face. Because our first job isn't selling anything. It's protecting you in a time of need. Like supplying tarps or stopping leaks. Our first duty at Roof Raiders is to help. Every mission for us starts with response and ends with unconditional satisfaction. Count on it and count on us. Roof Raiders, always on top.
Whatever might happen next. If Gavin gets a sudden fever, if Dad hurts his knee, or Gabby isn't quite feeling like herself, St. Bernard's Urgent Care is here for them, and here for you too. From real-time online wait times and extended hours to expanded services, we will never stop advancing urgent care that really cares. St. Bernard's Urgent Care.
Deeply rooted in Arkansas soil, Farmers and Merchants Bank focuses on local, community-based banking, working as a team to help you reach your goals and make our communities stronger. That's what happens at Farmers and Merchants Bank, home of Me Banking, member FDIC.
At Gateway Tire, we go the distance.
Think you have a brake problem? Do you hear a grinding or squeaking noise? Or does your steering wheel shake and shimmy when you apply the brakes? Worse, your vehicle doesn't stop when you need it to? If so, Gateway Tire will do a complete brake inspection at no charge, as in free. And if you do need brake service, you'll get $20 off per axle.
At Gateway Tire, we go the distance for you.
Southern Home Healthcare is your on-call home health care provider. Practically any home medical supply or service you need, you will find at Southern Home Healthcare. They feature home oxygen, walkers, wheelchairs, CPAP machines, braces, and more. And if you can't come to them, they'll come to you. On call 24 hours a day, 932-0990, 2925 South Caraway Road. Southern Home Healthcare, solutions for your home healthcare needs.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to halftime. Coach Jenkins is one of my favorites. Coach, we go way back, but you've been in Valley View here 2 years. So much good stuff going on in Valley View. Talk to us about give us a state of the union, if you will, of Valley View athletics.
Well, right now, obviously, we're right in the middle of football season, but we also have several other sports that are in the middle of their seasons as well. Obviously, we have volleyball right behind us practicing, and we have cross country, golf, and tennis, and then cheer and dance. And all of those teams are right now in the middle of their seasons and doing great, performing well, competing well, and you know, from what I can tell and what I can see on a daily basis, we're all in and everybody's doing well.
Now, this way here at halftime, and I hope I don't jinx us, but you've got to be proud of Sean Cockle. Not only does he have a great team this year, he's built a great program. Talk to us about what he's done with football.
Well, there's no question that Coach Cockrell's done a great job, not only this year but years prior. He has built a really, really strong program, and he has a really, really strong staff. One of my favorite things about their program is their staff. They're all in. They're good friends. They work well together. They spend a lot of time together, obviously, as coaches. So I think he's built a great staff, but he also has a way with kids, and he communicates with the kids, as do the guys on the staff. So it's a good staff, good kids, good program, and like I said, everybody, we're heading in a great direction.
Well, and you inherited somewhat 2 years ago. Coach Martin McGee does a great job with the volleyball. Another great season in hand.
Much the same in volleyball as in football. Coach McGee has won several state championships and continues to turn out good teams year after year. A lot of that has to do with the fact that our kids start playing volleyball at a young age. We have several coaches on staff that help her. One of her main assistants, Chris Collins, takes care of our junior high kids, but we have kids working in the elementary playing volleyball, and they develop skills early, and they continue to get better year after year, and then by the time they get to the senior high school and get the good coaching that we do have, then they turn out a great product.
on great products, obviously in football and volleyball. You stay right there and you stay right there. We'll be right back to talk about some more sports here at Valley View.
For over 20 years, Central Dealerships has partnered with Suncom Media and NEA Sports to bring you live coverage of sporting events in Northeast Arkansas.
From heated rivalry games to conference showdowns along with playoff championship action, Central Dealerships continues to showcase the best games that NEA has to offer. Remember, when shopping local, Central Dealerships have played a huge role highlighting local players. Just like Suncom Media and NEA Sports, Central Dealerships puts NEA student athletes first.
Locally owned and operated since 1885, Barton's is your hometown building supply store, serving communities in Arkansas and Missouri. Barton's is here to help families and DIYers, contractors, and builders build it better with quality in-stock products at a great price. Our experienced store representatives provide free project measurements, design services, estimates, and convenient delivery. Visit your hometown Barton's or shop online at bartons-lumber.com.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us be a part of your family and for trusting us with the ones you love the most. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of those lifelong memories. Thank you for taking us on the job and for putting us to work. Thank you for choosing us for your first vehicle and for every vehicle after. Thank you for trusting us for 70 years.
At Roof Raiders, we never start with pushing a contract in your face. Because our first job isn't selling anything. It's protecting you in a time of need. Like supplying tarps or stopping leaks. Our first duty at Roof Raiders is to help. Every mission for us starts with response and ends with unconditional satisfaction. Count on it and count on us. Roof Raiders, always on top.
Whatever might happen next. If Gavin gets a sudden fever, if Dad hurts his knee, or Gabby isn't quite feeling like herself, St. Bernard's Urgent Care is here for them, and here for you too. From real-time online wait times and extended hours to expanded services, we will never stop advancing urgent care that really cares. St. Bernard's Urgent Care.
Deeply rooted in Arkansas soil, Farmers and Merchants Bank focuses on local, community-based banking, working as a team to help you reach your goals and make our communities stronger. That's what happens at Farmers and Merchants Bank, home of Me Banking, member FDIC.
At Gateway Tire, we go the distance.
Think you have a brake problem? Do you hear a grinding or squeaking noise? Or does your steering wheel shake and shimmy when you apply the brakes? Worse, your vehicle doesn't stop when you need it to? If so, Gateway Tire will do a complete brake inspection at no charge, as in free. And if you do need brake service, you'll get $20 off per axle.
At Gateway Tire, we go the distance for you.
Southern Home Health Care is your on-call home health care provider. Practically any home medical supply or service you need, you will find at Southern Home Healthcare. They feature home oxygen, walkers, wheelchairs, CPAP machines, braces, and more. And if you can't come to them, they'll come to you. On call 24 hours a day, 932-0990, 2925 South Caraway Road. Southern Home Healthcare, solutions for your home healthcare needs.
Hey, welcome back to Halftime. Once again, my guest today, the athletic director here at Valley View, Brian Jenkins. Coach Jenkins, before the break, we talked about good stuff with the football and volleyball, but there's a lot of other good stuff with other sports here in the fall. Talk to us about Valley View fall sports.
Yes, we got several. Like I said earlier, we have several teams that are actually participating right now: golf, tennis, cheer and dance, cross country, and all of those teams are doing well. Our competition, cheerleading competitions and dance competitions are coming up, but cross country's been competing already, and they're getting closer and closer to their state meet. And golf and tennis are in and about to perform at their meets, their state competitions as well. So all of them are doing well so far, and I think all of them have a winning product.
Now, you talked a little bit about dance and cheer. If you're football to the core like me, you picture that on the sidelines, but there's so much more involved with cheer and dance.
Unbelievable. You know, several years ago, used to cheerleaders were just sideline cheer. They supported the team and that was it. Well, now we have sideline cheer, but we also have competition. And so every year in, I guess, October and November, dance usually starts out first, but they'll have 4 or 5 competitions around this area, and then they will have a state competition. And then the cheer does that about a month or 2 later, and then they continue to work through basketball season, and then as soon as basketball season's over, they kind of get ready for the next year. So they really never rest. Those two groups probably spend more time on the practice in the practice gym or on the practice field than anybody we have.
Well, it's year round, no doubt. You mentioned earlier basketball's right around the corner. Talk to us about both boys and girls basketball coming.
Well, we have high expectations in both groups. Coach Campbell's done a tremendous job. We have a bunch of guys returning from a good season last year. Made it to the state playoffs. And then we ran into a very, very good Maumelle team. On the girls' side, we have experience coming back. We had a bunch of young girls last year and several injuries. But I feel like this year, with those girls that were injured coming back and healthy, and the experience that we got last year as young, many of them sophomores, and we also have some new faces. So we feel really good about our girls basketball program going forward too. So both programs are they're excited about the season getting started, and we have high expectations and expect them to do well.
And it just gets better. Spring sports, baseball, softball, etc. Fill us in on that.
Well, obviously our baseball team is coming off a state championship, and our softball team is coming off a real strong showing in the state tournament as well. Just barely missed making it to the state finals in the softball, and we feel very good about the crew that they have coming back. They lost a real good pitcher, and hopefully we'll have one to replace her with. But baseball and softball both should be strong. Soccer is another program that's a spring sport, and
Coach Ron T.
Doing a great job. He's taking on both roles as head coaching boys and girls. And then our track program is very strong, and we have a new track coach this year, Andy Matthews, and he's very excited, and we can't wait for him to get started with our track program.
So much good stuff, and you're a large part responsible for that. Coach, I appreciate you greatly, and you stay right there. We'll be right back with the second half kickoff.
Hey, are we live? And we are live here. Glad I checked on that here at Central Dealership Stadium. Got a few minutes before the start of the second half. Valley View leading this one by a score of 24-0, and got a very special guest on with us right now, former Valley View Blazer and first-round draft pick, the Arizona Diamondbacks outfielder Slade Caldwell. Slade, I've had you on a few of our broadcasts before, but never now as a professional athlete, you know?
I know. The last time I was in this booth, I had a cast on. So
you sure did. Better. I forgot about all that, so we don't want to relive any of that, right?
No, not at all.
So talk to me a little bit about life for you since graduation at Valley View and, of course, being drafted in, what was that, late June, early July?
Early July, yes,
okay.
Sir.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's a lot different than high school, I would say, especially being a younger guy coming out into the Arizona Diamondbacks organization. But I've been out in Arizona for about 2 months, and I'm back now for most of October, and I go back in November for a little strength camp for all that month, and I'm back until January here in Jonesboro.
And then you're back in January, and then would then go back for some form of spring training.
Yep, go back for a little instructs and then spring training, and then I'll figure out where I'm going to go from there.
Well, I mean, you're living the ultimate dream right now. I can't even imagine what that's like. But just, I mean, is there any way to sum that up?
Not really. You know, if you want to do something you love and then you finally get to, obtain that dream and live it out, is just really special.
So, I watched that whole night. Like, and me, just as a guy that's known you I've actually known you your whole life.
Yeah.
Whether you realize that or not. Now, I really got to know you about age 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. But just I was nervous that night. You know what I'm saying? And all the experts had their whatevers and all that. But we still had that idea of about when it was going to go. What was that night like for you?
Yeah, you were sitting at home being nervous. Just imagine that times 100.
No, I really I prayed for you because I feel like that was the appropriate thing to do, just for nerves and that sort of thing. But yeah, man, I can't imagine that.
It's a lot different than playing in a state championship for baseball. Being under the lights during Friday nights. It's a different kind of nervousness.
Well, that's interesting you bring that sort of scenario up, because in that situation of a state tournament, you kind of can control a little bit of that.
Yeah, you can definitely control about not looking up into the stands and stuff. But when you're watching people, when you're seeing all those people go, before you, and then you're just waiting on the phone call, it's a lot different.
What are you looking most forward to in the coming months?
In the coming months, I'm just looking forward to getting better and training on my own and just becoming, a young adult.
Well, hey, you've always been very mature for whatever age you're at. Some things I'm not going to bring up on the air, but some things we talked about off the air already told me, just kind of spoke to that. Talk a little bit about your parents for just a minute, because I think they're great people, and I know obviously you do too. But talk a little bit about that and what they've meant to you through this journey.
Yeah, they're as competitive as they come. My mom, my dad over his Riverside blood.
Yep, but, I like that you brought that up.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep. But they've been great role models to me, and seeing how they take care of business, and it really rubbed off on me coming throughout high school, and then getting off on my own and seeing how to deal with situations out in the real world.
So want to talk a little bit about high school football, specifically Valley View. Is this the first game you've been able to catch, or did you get to go last week?
This is the first game I've been at.
And I know they're all online now.
Yeah,
so.
out in Arizona, I was watching them on Fridays because I didn't have much to do on Fridays.
Sure.
But I would always tune in to some Blazer football.
So talk to me about, you've played with a ton of these players. They're having a phenomenal year. They literally have just dominated everybody they play.
It's been amazing. I've really seen, Andrew Jones and Drew Gartman really form a bond at the quarterback and the wide receiver position, but also the running back core has really come into play with Anthony. And they've been banged up a little bit, but other than that, they play hard. This is the hardest I've seen them play as far as a group at Valley View in a while. And they have some new transfers. I know that, some new, come-ins. But the defense looks great. I just think they're playing with their heart out there.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about the defense. Like, I think of a guy you played with on the diamond, Jade Taylor. That kid, I mean, he can play. There's just a lot of talent out there.
Yeah, if you know Jay Taylor, he's everywhere at once. He likes to be always in the action. And I like to see Rodder Wooten out there. And he's put in a lot of work. Even when you don't see it, he puts in the work. And I know Ricky's banged up right now, but he was one of the key guys I knew was going to blossom his senior year.
Yeah.
And I just know our secondary is a lot better this year.
Yeah.
And a guy like Nick Gamble.
Man, you name some of these guys off. The Nick Gambles. We talk about the Jade Taylors. They're first off, they're great players, but they're great to be around.
Yeah,
they're all great personalities.
They're all personality.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we are inching closer to the start of the second half, Slade. I want to thank you for coming on. I already told you, but at some point before you go back, I want to get you back for a more extended interview to talk a little bit about more things. I know people would really like that. I know you've done a lot of interviews recently on the radio and that sort of thing, but just to have you maybe in front of a camera and that sort of thing, I look forward to the chance to get to do that. And bottom line, wish you the best of luck. As always.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and take a commercial break, and we'll be back here in just a moment. Oh, well, as a matter of fact, I'm being told by the trailer we're just going to stay here. We'll turn that back over to Randy Coleman as we start the second half. That was Slade Caldwell. That was Randy, one of the and I'm going to take the opportunity to say this, as a lot of people know, when we do these games, this is where I work. This is where I've worked for 12 of my 14 years in education. Some really, really, really good kids out here for Valley View, and there's the return past the 40. Slade, before I always knew he was a good athlete, even as a young man. Had never in a million years, never can you imagine in a million years any kid that you see is going to end up being a professional athlete like he is. But forget all of that. He has always been one of the most humble and quality individuals I've ever had the chance to be around, and had a small opportunity to help educate.
Yeah, and I mean, just great personality, great family. I mean, it's just it's a great story.
All right, we got a little run action there. Going out of bounds is Parker King.
Yeah, it's again, Coach Riley is attacking the edges. Right now, Wynn's still soft on the, giving a lot of cushion outside. We're faster than the six bodies inside, and just take advantage of it.
All right, second down and 4. Hand off to Feliz, and there's a first down.
Well, this is one of those drives that you can really just break the will of your opponent. Knowing the score, you got a 3-score lead already. You go up 31-0. And, it just kind of breaks the will of the opponent.
Gartman, quick pass over to King now, and he shakes through one tackler. He's finally stopped. It's going to be second down.
I don't know if anybody's doing stats, but I bet right now Drew Gartman is probably in the 14 out of 16 range.
Yeah, his percentage is unreal.
Yeah, for 150 yards probably, and it's just I mean, he is out there dealing. You can tell that he and offensive coordinator Marty Riley are really joined, in the running of the offense.
Gartman this time looks to keep the football. He gets to the edge. Gartman out of bounds and a first down run.
Well, we got a flag down too. It's kind of in the neighborhood of a hold. It's really kind of late, but so we'll see what Bobby Reagan says. You know, I'm going to ask you this question and your opinion on that. In the high school level, they will make a call, whereas in college and NFL, they indicate who made the hold. What are your thoughts?
A few years ago, they started calling out the number, and I'm not a fan of that. I just don't think that you should be kind of singling out a high school kid, but it's neither here nor there. I think it's up to the white hat.
Finally, a deep pass for the first time tonight and broken up. Really, Coach, you got to give credit to that D-back kind of getting a hand in there to break it up.
Yeah, they let them get away with a little hand fighting, both Andrew and the defensive back. I can't see a number for that defensive back right now, but great coverage. It's really a good throw. Gave Andrew a chance to make a play on it, but the defensive back looks like Kendall Reed made a good play there in the secondary.
Back out of the gun. It is 3rd down and 9. Trips to the left. Gartman will fire. He's going to go deep down the sideline again. That time it is caught, and that is Andrew Jones with probably the biggest deep pass we've seen tonight.
Yeah, that's just one of those, I always like to preach to guys that, one-on-one's open. And he's got a one-on-one matchup. He back shoulders it a little bit. Andrew goes up and makes a play on the ball. The defender can't see it. It's a great throw and catch.
We'll hand off to Felice. Felice get some yards. Felice is a guy that stepped in for the injured Slade Caldwell, and so much attention obviously gets brought to Slade being, the best baseball player that's ever went to this school and one of the greatest of all time in the history of Northeast Arkansas. Maybe the greatest. But Slade got hurt, and Felice was asked to step in, and he has done just such a tremendous job at the running back position.
Yeah, he really has. What you really admire about him is, he's not a big guy. We know he's got speed. We know he's a track guy, but he's really good at hitting those small creases and turning what looks like maybe a 2 or 3 yard gain into a 6 or 7 yard gain. So, I think the term that a lot of people might use is shifty, but I like he's a good he's a good crease runner. He can find those small creases that make big plays.
So it's 3rd down and 5. They're gonna line up in that jumbo set, and they're not going to get the first down.
And that's I guess that's the 3rd play they've run out of that jumbo set tonight. They ran quarterback power the first time, and then ran counter the second time. They're counter back to the nub side again here. Just a good play. Now you're in 4th and 4. Looks like they're going to keep that same group out there.
See if they go or they call a timeout here and maybe kick.
I think there's a lot of space out there on the edge for Drew Gartman just to use speed, maybe outrun them to the sideline.
Well, we are down to 3 on the play clock, and they are going to take the timeout. Similar to last time, we will take a commercial break and be back here in a moment on the Suncom Media NEA Sports Network.
For over 20 years, Central Dealerships has partnered with Suncom Media and NEA Sports to bring you live coverage of sporting events in Northeast Arkansas.
From heated rivalry games to conference showdowns along with playoff championship action, Central Dealerships continues to showcase the best games that NEA has to offer. Remember, when shopping local, Central Dealerships have played a huge role highlighting local players. Just like Suncom Media and NEA Sports, Central Dealerships puts NEA student athletes first.
Here live in a 24-0 football game. Valley View is dominated on both sides of the football, and now on 4th and 4 they are going to go for it.
And look, a little bit different with the formation here. I wouldn't doubt, might see a little fade here on the outside.
Look at this. He is wide open. And Drew kind of holds his hands on his helmet like, man, I missed an opportunity there because Feliz literally had no one.
Yeah, that's a missed free throw right there if you use basketball terms. But you got them pinned back. Let's defense keep playing, and get a stop right here. Now, Wynne really needs to put a long drive together here to try to claw back into this game.
There's really nothing to show for that one. 7:56 to go here in the third quarter.
Yeah, they went with the blast again. I still am a little surprised that Wynne hasn't ran their quarterback a little bit more. I think he's only had that one carry to speak of that I can remember, and that was a 15 to 20 yard gain. So a little surprised by that.
This time he pitches, and there's nothing to show for it. I thought maybe he was rolling out to throw a pass.
Yeah, Ryder Rutledge again. We've called his name several times tonight. Here's the deal. You got Jade Taylor on one side and Ryder Rutledge on the other. It's a pretty good pair of bookends right there.
6:54 to play. 3rd down and 9 as the Yellow Jackets are backed up close to their own end zone. He's going to throw it deep and incomplete. Intended receiver looked to be number 5, Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith, the big old boy out there.
He is a good-looking kid for sure. It's just, 3rd and 10, what else do you have to do? They ran a couple verticals for their tight ends. Valley View did a great job defending it. Now, we'll see if, Coach Toddy really wants to roll the dice here with the punt formation that they use is really, really just a deeper gun a little bit.
No, you're right. Well, I got news for you. Jay Taylor, and I don't know if that was just a bad punt or if they may have got a little piece of that right there, but you can just tell Jade just by his body movement. He is feasting on the opportunity to block a punt.
And it's just killing him that he's not getting there. You can tell he's frustrated. He's like, the guy is not very deep. I should be able to get there.
Well, and credit the young man that continues to set the block on Taylor to save his punter. But Valley View now has the football inside the 40-yard line in Yellow Jacket territory.
Yeah, short field, empty set here.
That's over again to the outside, and a gain of 4 by Andrew Jones.
Now, one thing that you're starting to notice is Wynne's creeping up a little bit tighter. I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Riley doesn't take a shot at some point here.
Well, and we did see that on that last drive, and the thing is, Randy, is what Wynne has done so far. Valley that has not necessarily worked, so. Because Valley View's put 24 on the board. There's a handoff to Feliz.
Anthony Feliz on the carry.
It's going to make it 3rd down and short.
Yeah, a little inside zone. Now here's the one thing for Valley View. You've got back-to-back plays where Andrew Jones comes off favoring an arm, and then Anthony Feliz comes off favoring an arm as well, so or a hand. That's what Valley View can't get into this year is having the injuries.
Had some guys banged up, but for the most part,
knock on wood for them. And they're upended there. That runner was Trent Dunham.
Trent Dunham.
Tell you this, I think I heard Trent's mama yelling there because he got the call. She got excited, and he got a little bit of a yardage there.
Yeah, it sounded more like mama yell than a girlfriend yell.
Don't blame her. Getting excited to see her boy get a carry right there.
All right, Wynne showing some pressure here.
And that looks like they've got the first down, and that catch was made by Noah Ragsdale. And I almost thought there for a minute, Randy, he was going to be hit for the loss, and you got to credit Ragsdale for turning it upfield and picking up the first down.
Yeah, and it's just, it was a one-on-one and open field, and Noah did a good job of making one man miss just enough to get a first down.
So 4:07 to play here in the third quarter. Quick pass over to the far side. Parker King met by several tacklers.
Here's what's funny. We mentioned earlier that Drew Gartman is probably, 3 or 4 incompletions and for good yardage. And the one thing he's going to be thinking about when his head hits the pillow tonight is that pass to Anthony Felice.
Well, and there's a pass going deep near the end zone, and he's in. That is a touchdown for the Blazers, a 27-yard touchdown pass.
And you could really see that coming. They fake the screen on the outside and run the man on the fade. It's really, a lot of people call it a slot fade or the old Fox play where you fake the outside screen and run the fade by the slot. Just a well-thrown ball. Great catch. Good adjustment by Parker King and getting the end zone. That was a big-time throw and catch.
No doubt about that. Blazers up 30-0. They are attempting this extra point. Brody Dix sends it straight through the uprights. It's 31-0. You're watching the Suncom Media NEA Sports Network. Back here live at Central Dealership Stadium. Score update over, I believe it looks like it's at Tech. And it is the Brooklyn Bearcats 21, Greene County Tech 7 with 8:08 to play in the third quarter. So Bearcats have trying to claw their way into the playoffs. Of course, that is still wide open right now. They do have a loss in the conference. They got beat to Nettleton. And man, that was a tough hit by not one but two Blazers.
Well, listen, I'm a little bit partial because I worked with Marty Riley for so many years, but this has really been an offensive clinic by Coach Riley and the Valley View offense. Just taking what the defense gives, being creative with formations, really good play design a few times, and then taking a shot when it presents itself, and then when you got a guy like Drew Gartman out there that's going to run the show, and the athletes that they have. And one thing we haven't talked about is the offensive line's been playing great for Valley View tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just been domination and just it seems every single aspect and nothing there for the Yellow Jackets. Coach, you mentioned Gartman and allowing him to do his thing. Again, a phenomenal wide receiver. And you had the luxury of having a
unbelievable quarterback in Carson Turley over the last 3 years, and to realize that you had this talent sitting right behind him, but at the same time playing an all-state caliber a wide receiver position. Just a lot of talent here at the school right now.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And then you look at that, and I think that's the first completion by Wynne tonight, and Valley View defense is there, just running sideline to sideline, and as much love as we've given Coach Marty Riley tonight, again, Coach Gunnar Wilbanks and the defense. Yeah. They've done an outstanding job of, taking away what Wynne really wants to establish, which is kind of the between the tackles, let's control the clock, control the line of scrimmage, and he's forced them to try to do some things they don't want to do, and they haven't done it very well.
Sending a man in motion. This time they look to throw again. He's got a receiver open, complete, first down, thrown a little bit behind him, but a good job by Braylon McDowell to haul that in, and a first down for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, great body control by Braylon McDowell there to turn and make a catch and then get a little extra yardage afterwards.
And unfortunately, McDowell is slow to get up, and they've got a trainer out there on the field right now to tend to him. Got some score updates coming in. One, here's possibly the game of the week right now, Randy, is that Osceola and Newport game over at Osceola. The Seminoles leading it 15-14 with 8:56 to play in the third quarter. That game is huge over in the 3A classification.
Yeah, that 3A is really top heavy with the likes of Newport, Osceola, Rivercrest, and Walnut Ridge. Really sets up some big games down the road, too.
Got a score update. Little Rock Catholic beating Jonesboro 20-0 in the third quarter, and then got a score. Nettleton is winning 42-16 over their opponent. And I apologize, I don't really know who they're playing because I'm just seeing a picture of the scoreboard right now.
Well, Wynne tries to go up the middle again and, running again right to the strength of Valley View's roster, and it looks like Peyton Thomason there on the tackle, and that's a 6'7", 240-pound kid that, that's one thing that Valley View has got a bunch of really good-looking kids that play really, really hard.
Well, and I'll say this, since Sean Cockrell took over as the head coach, and I guess you go back to 2015 when Valley View had to make that move up to 5A. The one thing, at least at that particular time, I remember him stating, and I just very vividly remember him saying, we're not going to have as good of, and I think that might not be the same now as it was then, but, we're not going to have as good of athletes as some of these other teams in the 5A East. We got to make up for it in the weight room. And that mentality has never, ever left this football program.
Well, I've worked with Gunnar Wilbanks before. There's not a better strength and conditioning guy than Coach Wilbanks, and all you got to do is look at the sideline.
Oh,
and the bodies of those kids, and you can tell that they do a lot of good work in the weight room.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And you continue that tradition of wanting to be stronger and bigger than everybody, and then you start, maybe seeing some more athletes trickle in, and too, you're going to have some. Sometimes that runs in cycles, but that's big.
Well, it's been a period of growth where Valley View continues to ascend, and let's be honest, a lot of other schools kind of on the decline.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with that for sure. So it is the end of the third quarter. There is a flag on the field, however, and it's almost as if they are acting like they've got another play to run. I'm confused right now. Like, there's no time on the clock.
I didn't see a flag either, so I'm a little confused.
I'm very confused. So, okay, there's 0 minutes on the third quarter clock, and we're about to run a play. And it's a pass. It's a drop. Another drop. That would have got him close to the first down. Newport has just taken the lead over Osceola 20-0. Looks like they're about to go for 2. And now that is the end of the third quarter. It is Valley View 31. Wynne nothing here on the Suncom Media NEA Sports Network. Well, they went for an extra point. Back here live at Central Dealership Stadium. Yellow Jackets forced to punt the football. That takes a Blazer hop, and they will down it at the 24-23 yard line with 11:50 to go here in the final quarter.
All right, it looks like Drew Gartman's night is done. Well, as is Laird Cullens, and that's a good move by Coach Cockrell.
I agree.
Let's see some of these younger guys. And it looks like the offensive line, for the most part, is the same. Do have a new center.
Speaking of, I believe that's normally Judd Miles at center. I got to listen to the tail end of an interview he did with Cade Carlton this week.
I listened to that entire interview.
Yeah.
I
thought he was very well spoken.
Very well spoken, and you could tell number one that he cares about his teammates.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's always fun to listen to when a kid talks like that.
And listening to the coach's show in the pregame, Coach Cockrell talked about this offensive line being experienced, and Talon Caldwell, who another kid that just a great young man. He is I believe a senior this year, but getting the opportunity to start and is making the most of that as well.
Yeah, look, Trent Dunham with the carry right there. We might see a little more Trent Dunham.
It's Levi Manning at quarterback.
And, I watched, my daughter was a cheerleader, and
going deep.
So
incomplete.
I've watched Levi Manning play a little bit, and he's a good football player. It looks like the quarterbacking at Valley View is going to be in good hands in the next couple of years.
Levi is the, I believe, nephew. I think that's how that works. Cousin or nephew to former coach here at Valley View, Zach Manning, who is now one of the coordinators over at Brooklyn. So
proud papa, new dad, Zach Manning of twins.
Twins. Yeah, I was so excited for him and his wife. We talked a little bit about that on our Brooklyn broadcast we had last month. But I tell you, Zach, he looked like he would have probably 6'3", 6'4". He looked like he would have been a heck of a player back in the day.
Yeah. Well, and this is, you just saw an example of why Valley View really may have a special team.
Yeah.
So the punter just gets off a really good punt, And the first person to run out there and hug him is Andrew Jones.
That's awesome.
And when you've got senior leaders who are out there making plays, and they're the first ones to run out on the field and congratulate a punter on a good punt, you got something special. So tip of the cap to Andrew Jones and Coach Cockrell for the way his kids are.
For sure. And off, it's going to go up the gut for a few. With Stewart.
Noah Stewart. And one thing you see with Wynne's football team tonight that you don't see with Valley View, a lot of those guys are playing on both sides of the ball. Noah Stewart is one of the linebackers. He's that kind of backer that's kind of gone back and forth from linebacker to safety, and now over there at running back, and it's the depth of Valley View is starting to show here.
Well, and Coach Cockrell made reference to his first-string defense is only allowed 2 offensive touchdowns this year, and I think what that also does is nothing more than this entire defensive unit would like to shut Wynne out.
There's no doubt.
And so that puts a little bit of pressure on those next guys coming in to be like, hey, you've still got a job to do. Let's finish what these other guys started.
Well, if you can create that culture, which Coach Cockrell has, where there's pride in things like getting a shutout, there's emphasis placed on character, that's when you get something really special.
8:57 to go here in the football game. Holbrook with a nice move to evade the first tackle, but this time he is brought down for a huge loss, and the sack is going to go
to Ryder Wooten.
Yeah.
And, another one of those, the linebacker core, just a very impressive display tonight by both Valley View's offense and defense.
Slade actually made mention of Ryder as a big-time playmaker for this defense and complimented him and several others. One comment he made was how impressed he was with the secondary and how much better they look.
Coach Cockrell mentioned that in his pregame show as well. The fact that one of the big surprises they had this year was the play of the secondary.
Well, this seems like the longest punt return could have ever asked for. First it was muffed and then picked up, and somehow he turned it into a little bit of a gain. It's the second time that's happened.
Yeah, R.J. Estridge. One thing punt returning it's a hard deal where you're looking up in the sky, catch a ball that's coming down, and that there's people running at you. He attempts to make catches, and it saves so many yards, and so I really like what he's doing.
That's not if I were playing this sport, that's not a job I would want to do. That's just, at any given moment, you got somebody breathing down your neck and could just mow you over.
Yep.
And it's a lot of that is obviously about timing and awareness and that sort of thing.
One thing that, usually good baseball players make good punt returners and kickoff returners because they track the ball well in the air.
Hand off. Up the middle. Positive yards, a gain for about 6.
That's Trent Dunham again on the carry. And you're going to see them run a lot of clock here.
Well, absolutely. Down to 7 minutes now here in the final quarter. They're taking their time, getting the plays called in from the sidelines. Now down to 6:45 out of the gun. Hand off again, and that is close to a first down. And Matt Tatum is actually in there at quarterback now.
Yep. And Tatum's a good-looking, tall. Let's see, he's 6'4", 180. I think he's a baseball player, so you know that he probably slings it around pretty good. And again, another example of the depth of players that Valley View has. Just very, very impressed by their football team.
And again, Dunham gets the football, get a couple of yards. You hear 6'4", 180, and I know everybody wants to be a quarterback, but that sure has the build to be a good receiver. Update in Osceola, they have now taken the lead back 22-20 with 3:11 to play in the third quarter. That third quarter has lasted a while.
Yeah. It looks like I think Newport's been in some back and forth games this year, and looks like they got them another one tonight.
It's just such a tough and competitive conference over there with those two teams, Walnut Ridge, Rivercrest. Surprisingly, on a slant route right there and incomplete, but I was going to make mention, surprisingly, Hoxie is a team that has really, really struggling and having a down season this year.
Well, one thing I have, now that you mentioned Hoxie, as a UCA grad, I've got to mention Shunderick Powell, who is just flat showing out for the UCA Bears at running back. He is one phenomenal player for the Bears.
He had a nice plays in that game against Arkansas State earlier.
Yeah, he really did. There's Levi Manning back in, and he gets a nice gain for a first down.
Levi's younger brother Brody last year, sixth grader in the building. I'm sure he's here watching his brother play tonight.
Yeah, we got old Maverick Manning over in the elementary, and he's a good kid too, and you can tell he's gonna fit right in. Maybe the
you gotta love that
quarterback.
Name. Yeah, that's to me that's the name of a quarterback right there.
There's no doubt. Another counter. Coach Riley doing a good job of mixing it up. We had a little wide zone play before, a little quarterback run. Now we're going back to counter, just milking that clock. Let's inch it down and see if Valley View can punch it in again for a score.
4 minutes and 35 seconds to go. And thing I haven't noted, a lot of the kids tonight sporting some of the pink either socks or I don't know what you call those things wrapped around their legs. Can you help me out?
Yeah, well, it's just supposedly it's supposed to keep you from getting like carpet burn, which you would get on a turf football field.
Okay.
But
But say all that to say, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so I'd like to see that. And a high snap that gets away, and the only play to make right there for Levi Manning is to dive on the football, and the Blazers are back way up, and it's 4th and goal from the 30.
I wonder if Coach Cockrell will want to see the length of old Brody Dix's leg and right here late in the game, and just see if he could stretch out a 47-yard field goal.
I mean, you just never know when you might need something like that. So, but the offensive unit is staying out on the field, but taking their time.
Looks like the way Coach Cockrell's, looking at the white hat, that he's going to call a timeout, and looks like he's getting the field goal team ready.
How about that?
We're going to see.
There's the timeout, and 3:01 to play. We will take a commercial break and be back here in a moment on the Suncom Media NEA Sports Network.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us be a part of your family and for trusting us with the ones you love the most. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of those lifelong memories. Thank you for taking us on the job and for putting us to work. Thank you for choosing us for your first vehicle and for every vehicle after. Thank you for trusting us for 70 years.
Back here at Central Dealership Stadium, 3 minutes, 1 second to play, and Randy, you called it. It's an opportunity to give Brody Dix a chance to kick an extra long field goal here.
And this is the perfect opportunity to see, you know, what kind of distance he's got, game situation.
And it is no good. Just a wee bit short, and might have ended up being just a bit to the left.
Yeah, a little bit of the high snap. They had to get it down. Just the timing of the mechanics there was a little off. But I you know, I like the call from Coach Cockrell, because now you've got kind of a top end and you know your bottom end of where, because it may come down to a kick in the playoffs, and now you've got a better idea of what your guy can do.
About that. So down to 2 minutes and 53 seconds left in this 31-0 shutout Blazers have going.
Looks like a little fullback dive by Wynne with Noah Stewart on the carry. I'm still just floored that, am I wrong, that Siler Holbrook has one carry, maybe two?
Yeah, I really can't remember, aside from the one that he picked up 15 yards on.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not gotten the call. He looks to pass here, and just as soon as we say that, he kind of forced into a run on that play. It's going to be 3rd down and a yard.
And it's for Coach Toddy, you want to see how your guys are going to compete, with the score the way it is, and, the game's kind of waning. Are they going to go out here and compete? Because every snap is on film now. You're going to, you're going to be able to you kind of say that every snap is an interview. You're trying to see what your kids are made of, late in the game.
So 1st down run. We'll move the chains, and a minute 36 to play here in the final quarter. We will, after the game, go down to Steve Clayton for the player of the game. So he'll line up an interview.
There's a few candidates.
Well, I have a feeling I know which one he's got, because I just saw him kind of make the move down there on the sideline, and it's a good pick.
It's a good pick. I don't think you can go wrong with that pick.
No.
And although, as we kind of get close to the end of the game here, you're going to have some obvious candidates for a player of the game with Andrew Jones and Drew Gartman. But I'll tell you, one guy that really jumped out to me tonight was Ryder Rutledge.
Yeah, I almost was about to say there's some guys on the defensive side of the ball that you could make an easy argument for, but you're right. I mean, how many times has that name been mentioned today?
Yeah, and when you've got, you know how I feel about Jade Taylor. You got Jade Taylor on one side and Ryder Rutledge on the other, combined with, how well everybody else is playing. You're starting to get something special.
We're down to a minute 2 now. 2nd and 3 for the Yellow Jackets. They're trying to move the ball to midfield. Holbrook. And he's got a 1st down. Kind of pushed forward, and he got the 1st down, so they'll move the chains. Ball now at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, that's probably only going to be about the 4th or 5th carry for Siler Holbrook, and 2 of them have been scrambles.
Yeah, and they've come in the last couple minutes here.
Maybe there's something we don't know injury-wise.
looks to pass, and Valley View, my goodness, he is sacked for a huge loss. And, wow.
Peyton Thomason on the
I'm
play.
going to tell you this, too. His name has been mentioned tonight.
Yep. And, 6'7", 240.
Well, the thing that's so easy that stands out about him is I don't know if it's because he's so tall and that jersey will only go down so far on him, but he is just massive.
One thing that I will tell you that in years playing, when your defensive line is number 24 and 22 and 25, you know that you've got some athletes on the line of scrimmage.
All right, we're going to go down on the field now to the player of the game with Steve Clayton. It is Drew Gartman.
Hey, Steve Clayton here with Game MVP Drew Gartman. Drew, it all hinges on you. 6-0, you're the quarterback of a great team. Did another great job by your offensive line.
Oh, they did phenomenal. The run game was there all night for me and Anthony, and they gave me time to throw the ball and get the ball out. They did phenomenal.
Talk about throwing the ball. You got to slow receivers too. Talk to us about that. Just one, and I say that tongue-in-cheek, just one touchdown pass tonight, but a great job throwing the football.
Oh, yes, sir. All the receivers had a lot of catches, big catch off the run. They did phenomenal. They did their part blocking, catching. They did everything great.
Now, calling plays for Coach Offensive Coordinator Marty Riley. It's got to be fun, Drew.
He's the whole reason why we're winning so big. He's the key to our offense and our success. He's got to be the best coordinator in the state, and I'm so glad that he's our offensive coach. And I'm excited for what we got. Keep going in on the season. He's just phenomenal.
He's a great offensive coordinator, but your defensive coordinator pitched a shutout tonight. There was a goose egg on the board for Wynne. Got to be proud of your defense.
Oh, yes, sir. When you have two good coordinators, offense and defense, we had the best defense in the state, too. Another shutout game. They played phenomenal. The D-line, linebackers, safeties, corners, they did awesome. They keep doing their part every week, and I'm super excited to see what's next.
A lot of football to play, Drew. Go celebrate with your teammates, buddy. Thank you. That's Drew Gartman, Game MVP. Your final here, Valley View 31, Wynne 0. Back to y'all in the booth.
All right, Steve, thank you. Great interview with Drew there. I mean, he took zero credit and gave every ounce of credit to his teammates.
Yep.
You got to love that.
I'll say it's a trickle down effect. That's coming from Coach Cockrell and from Drew's parents. But just a phenomenal job by him, and you can tell why this team is a little special because they do not want the credit. They want to give it to others, and that's very special.
All right, well, that being said, that's going to put a wrap on tonight's contest. We do have a bit of a break before our next football game, which I believe comes at Westside. They will host Highland. That's at least it's on November 1st, so that is a ways away from now, a couple weeks at least, if not 3 there. So with all that being said, stay tuned to the Suncom Media and NEA Sports pages for updates and information. For Steve Clayton and Randy Coleman, I am Ryan Fletcher saying so long, everybody.